Hi-ho neighbors, Rado Goji here, and welcome to a special extra video for the Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn playthrough. Today we are actually playing as Captain Flufeurs, or Chef Flufeurs, as the case may be, or it should be Chef Flufeur, because it's French, so the S at the end is silent. That's how French works. Anyway, because we previously established how much Floopl O'Houlihan loves pretzels, I've decided to go ahead and make some pretzels for Floopl. I don't know how I'm going to get them to Floopl. Floopl is now registered in the Free Company. However, in order to be able to mail something to another character, they have to be on your friends list, and you can't send anybody a friend request if they're not online. And considering that Flufeurs and Floopl being online are mutually exclusive, there's no real way to do that. So I'm going to have to find a way at some point to get like a third party to give some pretzels to Floopl. This is what I get for giving them similar names. Anyway, so usually when I do crafting, because what we're going to be doing here, this is just kind of a showcase for gathering and crafting classes, and so I'm not going to be doing that on Floopl. Usually, as far as crafting is concerned, I like to be as self-sufficient as possible anyway. So we're going to actually gather as many of these ingredients that we can, because there are a couple that we have to buy. Because while we can't make the Twilight pretzels that Papa Sean has, we do have the ability to make dark pretzels. These are the only pretzels that we can make, as far as I know. So that's going to be as close as we can get. I am a level 60 culinarian, and while, you know, a majority of my more recent levels were just obtained through, you know, side quests, and I don't have every single possible like ability that I can as a culinarian, it really doesn't matter, because the pretzel recipe is only level 23, so we're going to be able to knock it out of the park either way. Now, because of the whole self-sufficiency thing, like I said, I am going to try to get as many of these ingredients as possible on my own. Let's bring the journal back up, shall we? So, in order to make dark pretzels, we just need some. Well, we're going to need a bunch of fire shards and water shards, which we do have, so that's good. And the actual materials we're going to need include some sunset wheat flour, which we can make ourselves as well. Some maple sugar, which we can make. Chicken eggs, which we do have to buy. Unfortunately, there aren't any like enemies that we can slay or any places we can gather chicken eggs from ourselves. Unfortunately, there are some ingredients and things that you will have to buy from vendors, which is why I said being as self-sufficient as possible, but not necessarily being completely self-sufficient, because it's really not possible to do. We can make our own table salt as well as our own butter. And mineral water we do have to buy. Now, I do have some of these ingredients already, you know, in my possession in some way, but just, you know, let's just break out the ingredients and make things. No, that's going against the spirit of this video. So, in addition to my culinarian class, I also do have a couple of gathering classes prepared. Now, there are 3 gathering classes. There's Miner, Botanist, and Fisher. I do have all 3 unlocked and around the same level, but I don't have a Fisher setup prepared because, quite frankly, I'm not using it right now. But Miner and Botanist, we will need both of these in order to make these pretzels, believe it or not. So let's get on with it, shall we? Now, actually, I do want to say fair warning. If you're watching this at the time it comes out, in relation to all of the other Final Fantasy XIV videos, do be forewarned that there are going to be slight spoilers going on here. We're actually in an area where Floopl can't even go yet, and we're going to be going to a couple of places where Floopl can't even go yet. It's basically just, you know, popping back and forth between major places that we'll be seeing soon enough. But if you'd rather follow along with Floopl and see the new places as they come about, then I would hold off on watching this until later if you're so inclined to see stuff about gathering and whatnot. But anyway, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's go gather some pretzel ingredients. Alright. Also, I'm keeping a good eye on the time because my phone is currently charging and it's not at hand, so I don't have my timer on me. So I'm keeping an eye on the clock up in the corner here, just to make sure that the video doesn't go over what PlayStation Share likes to do. All right, so while we are in the region of Lanasia, and while we're in Lanasia, there are a couple of things that we can get, and we can also pop by the Culinarians Guild in Limsa to get a couple of our ingredients here. Now, the recipe will yield 3 pretzels. So I'm trying to think of how many pretzels we should make. I'm thinking 4 batches, so maybe 12 pretzels. That might be a nice round number for Floopl to enjoy. And we're also going to be making high quality pretzels. I'll explain high quality stuff when we get to that. So since we're in Lanasia, let's actually go ahead and teleport to Limsa, which is like right nearby. It's, you know, pocket change. I don't really feel like speeding around all over the place right now. Because Limsa, like I said, is where the Culinarians Guild is, and there is a guild vendor who will give us a couple of the ingredients that we absolutely have to buy. So we wait for it to load here. And unfortunately, there really isn't anything I can do about the chat, the message window. When I was planning on editing this on my computer, that was going to be a thing, was to get rid of the just like cover that up, but unfortunately there's not much I can do about that now. Oh boy, there's people all over the place. This is pretty much kinda sort of what happened when they opened up what do you call it? The world visit, where you can go to other servers. There's a lot of people who like to gather around in Limsa for some reason. Although I also have heard things about people who had splintered off into the new data cluster are actually looking at moving their characters back to the data cluster that they're from originally. So there's a lot of people coming back onto our data. I mean, which is fine. But I have gotten into a few more situations where a lot of people have been on, and I've had to go through a small queue in order to be able to log back into the game, which is not something that I'm really used to. So, mineral water, we only need 1 for the recipe. And since we're going to be making 4 batches, let's just go ahead and buy 4 of them. Buffalo milk, that's actually another thing that we need to buy. Because unfortunately we can't get this from Buffalo. Because we need this in order to be able to make our butter, I believe. Yes. Now, the recipe for butter calls for 2 buffalo milks, so we're going to have to buy 8. Okay, that's that taken care of. And the other thing that we need are chicken eggs. 4 of those. Now, the rest of this stuff, while we can buy some of the more basic ingredients here, I'm going to go ahead and just, well, gather for that, because, you know, that's what we like to do. Now, Middle Lanasia, that's one of our destinations. That's where we're going to get some wheat for our flour. And I think Middle Lanasia, we can actually... Yep, we can actually just go straight there from an Ethernet shard, which is good. And that's in the level 15 area. Now, we're going to be our botanist here. Botanists, as far as gathering goes, deal with logging as well as like gathering. Like they have an axe for logging, and then they have a scythe for gathering from vegetation. And we're going to want... There's something we need to triangulate. We want that on. No, that was already on. Derp. Yeah, we want that on at all times, because that's going to allow us to find... that'll allow certain gathering points to show up in our map. Let's see if we can do armor recall. Oh, we don't want grade 30 mature trees. The falcon is... it's one of my mounts... It's a motorcycle-looking thing. It looks like a motorcycle, but it's also kind of a personal airship. This is what we want right here. And it also turns into a submarine configuration when it's underwater. But yes, the level 15 lush vegetation patch is where we want to go. So bring up the click on it to bring up the window here, and sunset wheat is what we want. The percentage, the bigger percentage is the percentage chance that we will have to actually yield anything from our harvesting attempt. So we're pretty much good here. I'm a level 37 botanist at a level 15 spot. We should be good for getting anything we want from this. Now, the smaller percentage is the chance we will have to get a high-quality version of the item, which is only 15%. But in all honesty, considering that I can very easily make high-quality pretzels with normal ingredients, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now, the recipe for... we got a high-quality one there anyway. Yeah. Now, the recipe for flour does call for 4 sheaves of wheat. Let me just double-check, though. Not gathering log. Crafting log. Let me just double-check. Sunset wheat flour is right here. How many this will yield? This will yield 3. So we are going to need, basically just 8 sheafs, because 4 sheafs will make 3, but we're looking for 12 altogether. No. We're looking for 4 altogether. Sorry. So we need to have, basically, 2 sessions. And the gathering rate for this is 10% bonus. Not that it really matters, because we're at, 100%. We're also gaining a little bit of experience, because the, like I said, the gathering and the crafting, they are their own classes, so they have their own experience bars. Okay, so that's what we need for the wheat. So now let's take a stop over in Thanolin. Because Thanolin is where we're going to get a couple of our needed ingredients here. We're going to be looking for rock salt and muddy water. And this is basically we need both of those things in order to make our normal table salt. And the fun thing about this is that we can actually get these while mining. So the rock salt central. So we can make both these things in Central Thanolin, which we do have easy access to from the Ethernet. So that works out well for us as well. Now, muddy water is actually fairly close to town. Actually, let me go ahead and swap over to miner. Miners use pickaxes and hammers. It's basically the same sort of thing. Like mineral deposit, I think, is for pickaxes, whereas rocky outcroppings, I believe, are for hammers. We're gonna get muddy water. How many muddy waters do we need? We need just 4 of those. Actually, now that I think about it, I forgot to set up another one of my crafting classes that we actually do need in order to get our, in order to be able to make our salt from scratch, because basically the muddy water is going to be refined into distilled water, but that is done by not by culinarians but by alchemists. And I do have my, I mean, it's a very, very low level alchemist thing, but I do still need to use the alchemist for that. So considering that I actually don't really have any, I don't know I don't even know if I still have any like low level crafting gear like handy. We may be like a naked Flufeurs. Oh, that's not gonna go over well. I don't know. Where is... I think the level 15 spot is in... So that's what we're looking for, is the level 15 spot in Central. Where's our gathering log? There it is. Hold on. 15... Rock salt is in Blackbrush. Okay. That's where we just were. Man, I know I'm not looking very hard, but... It's been a while since I've done this. I was actually holding off on my gathering classes until later. So I have kind of a priority stuff with my goals currently. My current goal is to do everything I can do with Blue Mage, although that might be problematic a bit in the short term, because my subscription is actually about to run out in a few days, and I do have like a good over half of the spells. I need some better gear, actually. I need to probably get Jordan to make me some better gear so that I can properly do the Masked Carnival, which is the minigame thing that Blue Mage leads up to. But that's besides the point here. That's the lay of the land. Rocky outcrop to the southwest. Thank you. Probably should have used that sooner, because the rocky outcrop is exactly what we're looking for. And luckily, because we're level 36, nothing is going to aggro us on the way to the rocky outcrop. Alright, here's where we want to be. Okay, so rock salt. And we want 4 of these. And we have another... It gave us an additional gathering attempt, so I'll just get a lightning shard. Why not? Okay, so we're done in Thanalin now, so let's head on over to North Shroud. And we can get some sap to refine into syrup, to refine into sugar. I didn't know there was sugar in pretzels. The more you know. And again, I do know for a fact that the North Shroud is also easily accessible from the Ethernet in Gordania here. But also, it makes sense because it's a low-level spot, so it's going to be close to town. Oh, see, we got somebody disconnecting there already. These servers have not been in their tip-top shape recently, but that's whatever. Alright, so let's go to the North Shroud. A lot of loading. And then after this, I'm going to be doing some Floopl adventures. But I'll get into more detail about the situation once I start doing that. So what we're looking for, I don't think, are we supposed to log? Yeah, we're supposed to be logging. You know, it's probably... Because we're in Tree Speak now. Maybe it's in another spot? Because we don't want latex. That's going to make terrible syrup. Maybe it was around here that that those trees show up. There we go, maple sap. I want 4 of these. Okay, so that is all done. And let's go ahead and we're gonna... Actually, let's teleport to Flufeurs' apartment in halfway across the world. Because this will be fun. That way I don't have to be I don't have to accidentally need to be naked floof out in the middle of everyone in creation. I mean, like, people who watch the video will still see it, but It's a necessary evil. It'd be very painful. For me. Let's see. Pippingston. You hold my alembic. Oh, I need more. Do I have lower level crafting gear? No. No is the answer. I got rid of all that. Wunderbar. Okay. Well, naked floof it is. Let's just, get out of public. Yes, the aesthetic is very, very Asian here. This is, in the far east of Heidelin here. And, is very much a, what do you call it? It's one of the latest expansion areas. I say knowing full well we're going into, another expansion here. Let me just go ahead and at least get some clothes on them. Alright. So first up, what we need to do is you're going to go into your crafting log, and then you select your recipe, and then make sure you have enough to do what you need to do. Now, doing a normal synthesizing, you notice we got 2 bars there, progress and quality. By using the synthesis stuff, that'll make our progress go up. Once the progress hits, then we've made our item. Certain items will have the progress go up slower than others, or will have more, I don't know, HP or progress points, I suppose. Now for using these touch things like hasty touch, standard touch, these will bring up the quality, and as the higher the quality meter is, the more chance you're going to produce a high quality item. So, for example, if we use standard touch here, now it goes to 5%. But we're a relatively low level alchemist, and I really don't feel like durability is also a factor here. I should probably point that out. Durability will go down as we use touch actions and synthesis actions. And if that durability goes down to 0, you fail the synthesis and you'll lose your ingredients. Now you can use stuff like Master's Mend here to repair your progress, but it's a fairly easy thing. I just happened to fail that one step. I don't know why I got worried, since as I said, this has difficulty 9, so it is a fairly easy thing. Now, once you've synthesized something at least once, depending on what the recipe is, you can do quick synthesis. And what quick synthesis will do is allow you to basically make auto attempts to synthesize the item. And you basically just have like a straight up chance to succeed or fail or get high quality. So we've got all of the distilled water we need now, so that's good. And we also don't need to be alchemist anymore. We can go right back to being our head chef self. So let's get cracking on these recipes. So the distilled water is good to go. Now first off, let's make this flour here. Now, like I said, we only need to make 2 of these. In fact, I probably should have checked to see if we need to make... Yeah, because table salt's going to make 6. And I have enough components to basically make more than we need. I keep forgetting that for most of these things that make other ingredients, it yields more than 1. So, yeah, we may... Or even some of the meals here, like raisins and eggs, they yield more than 1. So, at the very least, it was good to see, the gathering process. So I regret nothing. Anyway, the first thing on the list was wheat, which we actually did just, make enough to just have that. Oh, yeah. It won't select high-quality items, or high-quality ingredients, like, by default. You actually have to tell it to use those. Okay, so we got our flour done, and our maple sugar, which we need to actually go to our maple sap and make syrup from it. So let's just do quick synthesis on these. Because we use knives to make syrup, of course. Got some nice experience from that challenge. The Dragon Quest Golem is in the way. Sorry about that. I'm just trying not to show off too many of these decorations, because there might be some spoilery stuff, but I don't know. You probably won't understand a lot of it without the context anyway, if you're coming into this as a newbie, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so again, I really didn't need to make that much. So I made 12 maple syrups, which we only need 4. So I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 maple sugars. Oh, well, I can just do this, I suppose. I meant to do quick synthesis, but okay. Luckily, I have a repository for all of this excess to go into, so that'll be helpful for me later. It's not going to be able to do anything with straight-up sap anyway. Alright, so the sugar's done. We got our eggs. Table salt. That's what we needed our rock salt and distilled water for. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I should just, like... Again, it's a good idea just to make all of this, because like everything needs salt. So having the extra salt just to like add into my salt repository, that'll be helpful for me in the future. See, I actually thought ahead by accident. I don't know if that's a thing that can happen, but whatever. So the butter, that's what we need our buffalo milk for. Let's go ahead and... I could just quick synthesize all these. I don't know why. I'm just so used to... Because I'm so used to doing those crafting the beast tribe quests, I'm so used to doing that because you can't quick synthesize their stuff. So I'm just so used to going to the synthesize button and not the quick synthesis, like I should be doing. I will at the very least do our first actually, no, I am going to be doing the standard synthesis for our pretzels, because I do want those to be high quality in the end. Okay, so that's all of our ingredients assembled, it looks like. So let's just head on down and make some pretzels here. And, in fact, we may be able to make even more pretzels than I initially planned, which is fine. But I do want these to be high quality, because when it comes to pretzels for Floopl, only the best will do. So I'm going to use stuff like Great Strides, Steady Hand, Advanced Touch. This is going to help the high quality meter, the quality meter skyrocket here. Use Tricks of the Trade to get some of that CP back. CP is basically the crafting version of MP. There's also gathering points as well. GP for gathering. Just use some standard synthesis here. And we've got some high-quality dark pretzels. Ah, yes. So yeah, let's just make as many as we can with the ingredients we have. Because I was initially planning to make 12, but I think we can actually just go ahead and make more. More is good. I probably should be using Inner Quiet as well. Just in case like an emergency occurs and I need to get back some of the CP. Because you use CP for almost everything. And what Inner Quiet does is it builds up a meter as you do actions. And depending on how many stacks of that you have, when you use Rumination, you can get a whole bunch of a whole bunch of CP back. Let's do steady hand. Steady hand, that's something I've been using. Oh, also tricks of the trade, need to use that. I haven't really been explaining, I guess. I don't even remember which ones I explained or not. Oh, okay, so Great Strides will double the next successful touch action that we do when going for you know, quality up stuff, and standard or the steady hand increases our success rate in our next step. So we'll just keep making some high quality pretzels here. I think this is the last batch we can make, actually. I'll have to check my ingredients when I get back to it. Oops, I didn't mean that steady hand. I meant steady hand too. Oh, it's great music as well here. Stuff we'll be hopefully hearing later. I'm wasting all of my steady hand here, but I'm like, I forgot to do this, and I forgot to do this, and I forgot to do this. Tricks of the Trade, the thing that pops up to give me just straight up give me 20 more CP, that will only come up when the conditions is at good or better. That's really the only thing that I know of that condition affects. Alright, how many more can we make? Oh, no, we actually only had enough eggs and mineral water to make what we had initially planned, so we're done making pretzels now. So that was fun. So we got to see some of the gathering and stuff, so I thank you for watching this extra bit of video. Just did for fun. And when we return, we'll be Floopl. So until then, I've been Rado Goji, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?